Hello and welcome to Functional Spirituality. I am your host, Ava, and today I want to speak about our three-part method. So Functional Spirituality has a variety of different offerings. We have our silent meditation retreats. I also run a few different facilitator trainings for yoga, meditation, and for holding space, and also different communication platforms where I share some of my thought leadership, trying to inspire more intentional living and contemplation of different philosophies or different frameworks in which we experience our lives. But it all boils down to our three-part method. That's what underpins all of our offerings and the values that myself and the other teachers are holding when we hold our spaces. So a lot of you know about the three-part method because it's the foundation of everything we teach. So it comes up in the retreats and trainings and even sometimes classes. And that's what really makes this offering unique and provides such a transformative framework for mine and so many others' spiritual practices. And I want to start with a little bit of my story, a little bit of the origin story behind this three-part method and behind functional spirituality. On this beautiful rainy afternoon here in Western Australia. And I always think that you can hear the cars driving by and making noise in the rain, but then Anaid tells me that actually she can't hear any background noise. But it is a beautiful rainy day. A lot of you know about the origin story. You've heard about my journey and about my history, so hopefully there's something new in here for you. And I guess we can start at any point, but I'll start back when I first started practicing spirituality. And I guess you could call it that. I started practicing yoga. I had moved to Sydney when I was 19 to go to uni there. And my housemate took me to a Bikram yoga class, and I became really obsessed with it. The way that they spoke about the practice, the promises, all the speak about purifying the body in these incredible ways. And so much of the practice was just talking about the benefits and how amazing the practice was. And I had that kind of slim body, flexible. I saw progress in that kind of practice really quickly. And I really loved it. And I became really addicted to it, as many people do become addicted to a yoga practice, or especially hot yoga, where you can really feel such profound effects of exhaustion and then relaxation at the end, and that transformation, the sweating and all of that. So I became really dedicated to the practice. And prior to that, I was living quite a normal life. I went to Sydney in pursuit of all of the normal Western culture values and standards of trying to make money and trying to make something of myself. And deep down, looking back, trying to connect, trying to find happiness, trying to heal myself. But without any guidance, I was just doing a lot of drugs and partying a lot and doing as little as possible at uni, trying to make friends, trying to connect with people. And along my way, I found myself in this yoga practice and became really, really dedicated to it while still doing all of the naughty things on the side. And became part of the furniture at that yoga studio. And at some point realizing that I was actually really unhappy and wanted to pursue more yoga, still not really having any guidance about what it was I really wanted. That's not a part of our spiritual systems, really, is looking at the individual, unique experience and facilitating the individual to tune inward and to ask themselves, what do I want? What am I searching for? What do I desire? And maybe it's all ultimately the same thing. We're all the same biological creatures, and what we're really seeking is connection, love, relaxation, freedom, fulfillment. But to actually feel that inside is so empowering. It's a form of consent to really feel, what do I want from my practice? What am I searching for? And to feel that. And then to move forward so we can find alignment in the direction of what we're looking for. So no one ever asked me that, and I just started seeking hardcore. I left and I ended up in a yoga school in Thailand, Some of you might know about this yoga center in Copenhagen called Agama. Such an interesting place looking back. So I found myself at this yoga school, and it was just starting to get big when I rocked up there in 2011. And I just thought, wow, this place is incredible. We used to call it Paradise Island, just this beautiful, beautiful island in Thailand, and a yoga school where everyone came there just to, and was thriving with this sense of belonging. And the school was very unique. So it was basically a school teaching many different kinds of Indian spirituality. And there was a lot of, over the past 2,000 years and more, 3,000 years in India, there have been a lot of different iterations, a lot of different branches and systems of spirituality. And a lot of them actually contradict each other in their intentions and practice, but that's not so well considered in our modern times. So, and wasn't considered in this school. So it was a lot of different forms of spirituality, Indian spirituality, combined into a very intensive curriculum. And I thought, wow, this curriculum has the answers to everything. And of course, the curriculum promised that it had the answers to absolutely everything. And everything on every single level was answered by this curriculum. So I dove into the system. I couldn't believe how comprehensive it was. And at this stage, I'm 22. So very young. I think I'm 22. I don't think I was 21. I think I was 22, and kind of dove into this system. And, I was supposed to be there for 2 months. I ended up being there for like 9 months, doing a teacher training, went to India and was teaching at their branch there, and just fully dove into it. Came back to Australia every now and again, visa run, see the family, and would teach a little bit of yoga, make a little bit of money, go back out. Because the teaching that I was doing at the school was all like volunteer work in exchange for just more classes and education and retreats with them. And ultimately, the school had a lot of dysfunctional qualities. And in 2018, actually, there was a huge scandal with Agama because of a lot of sexual transgressions on behalf of the main Swami and the lead teachers. And the whole school had a lot of weird things going on. And it kind of got weirder and weirder and more obvious, but also bigger and bigger as the time went on. And I was there for a few years. I was there participating from 2011 to 2016 or 2015, and being one of their teachers there and doing a lot of practice. So, living in my bungalow and practicing 8 hours or more a day. And that wasn't unheard of. There was a lot of really strong practitioners at the school. And I also was a part in that first year, in the first few months, the last Hridaya retreat ever happened at Agama. So there was also a sister school running and operating out of the same kind of venue over there. And they ended up breaking off and starting up some headquarters in Mexico. So I attended the last silent retreat before Hridaya moved to its own headquarters. And that Hridaya school was also very similar in this being a school of Indian spirituality. But both of them, not only were they teaching this huge, huge curriculum of Indian spirituality, they were also teaching the New Age spirituality. So the works of Jung, the Theosophical Society, and all the New Age ideas about chakras and energy bodies and the way the 8 limbs have all been kind of woven into this New Age system that we have of yoga and spirituality that's kind of underpins the whole spiritual industry that we have now. It all recognizes at the heart this kind of energy frequencies and the chakras and those kinds of things. So they were both teaching that. And the Hridaya school had a very unique offering, something that's still so close to my heart, being fundamentally a non-dual school, an awakening school. So all about connecting to the heart of being and connecting to that void, the stillness, the transcendent nature of reality. So I really loved that. And I kind of bounced between the two schools, Hridaya in Mexico and Agama in Thailand, deepening my connection to the communities and deepening my practice in both of them. As well as starting to teach there and starting my teaching career, I quickly became known as a